Part 58. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 589. As the black cut fell from the stellar storm and struck the halberd in De Hunken's hand, De Hunken was directly knocked away. Nyosin God of War then jumped up and pounced on De Hunken. He hit De Hunken, who was flying upside down at a very fast speed. The two of them smashed into Liang's military formation in the universe like a meteorite. With a bang, the smoky flying platform carrying the Liang army became unstable and almost capsized. Then, two energy slashes of more than 10 meters were struck by the Nyoxing God of War towards the Liang soldiers surrounding them from the left and right. The surrounding Liang warriors who were close to him were cut in half without warning, and were wailing on the ground in pain. De Hunken trembled when he saw this. He raised his hand and blasted out a microflare bomb. A large piece of orange energy swept forward, but before he could get close to the Nyoxing God of War, he was struck by the energy slash coming upstream. Open. When the energy that constituted the slashing attack was about to be exhausted, Nyosin God of War suddenly jumped up from De Hunken's attack, raised the black cut high, and slashed hard in the direction of De Hunken. An energy slash of several meters flew out. By the time it arrived in front of De Hunken, it had expanded several times. It directly cut the combat platform carrying the Liang soldiers in half, and continued to cut forward without losing any strength. And go. Nowadays, the energy conversion efficiency of Nyoxing God of War's gene engine has almost reached 100%, and the energy intensity of any hit is outrageously high. De Hunken was a little constrained at the moment, because he was surrounded by Liang warriors, and he didn't use moves that had a huge impact range. If you want to destroy the Nyo Star War God, you must use solar flare bombing, or a powerful attack above. De Hunken found that the ordinary small flare bombing was not painful to the Nyo Star War God at all. Looking at the Nyoxing God of War who was killing indiscriminately in the Liang army formation, De Hunken was furious and wanted to hit the solar flare directly, but he did not have the ruthless decisiveness. Because if the solar flare is really blasted away with a single blow, it depends on whether the Nyoxing God of War dies or not. Except for the 4 guardians who are present, except for the 4 guardians who may survive, most of the others will definitely be lost. While De Hunken was hesitating, Nyoxing God of War had already increased his energy conversion efficiency to 150%. Warning: the energy conversion efficiency has exceeded the safety threshold. If it continues to increase, it will cause permanent damage to the divine body. Permanent damage doesn't matter now. Lift the safety threshold and continue to improve energy conversion efficiency until my body can't bear it anymore. Please enter the threshold lock key. Nyoxing God of War spoke a command code. The safety threshold lock has been opened, and the energy conversion efficiency will continue to increase. Please note that when the energy conversion efficiency reaches 180%, it will be irreversible and your body will continue to be damaged until it is completely destroyed. Nyoxing God of War just smiled and didn't care. He was ready to die. At this moment, he just wanted to kill everyone happily. When the Liang Guardians saw the Nyoxing War God continuously killing the Liang soldiers, they finally couldn't help but take action, and they all attacked the Nyoxing War God wielding black cutting weapons. However, after a while, the Liang Guardian also turned into one of the countless Liang corpses around him. As the Nyoxing God of War killed, the dark energy around him became more and more turbulent, reaching the point where it could be observed with the naked eye. As he passed by, the ground was eroded and turned into fly ash, and the space began to distort and dislocate. The long-range crossbow bombardment launched by some Sun soldiers also turned into a burst of energy debris when they approached the vicinity of the Nyoxing God of War. At this moment, the Nyo Star War God was like the legendary immortal war god. Facing the Nyosin War God, who was walking toward him with his body broken and looking like he might fall down at any time, De Hunken actually felt a hint of fear. But when he reacted, Dihunkin felt extremely angry. He was just the god of war from Nyoxing, but Binghua was destroyed by him. Why should he be afraid of him? Raising their hands, the solar flare bombing began to gather energy. The surviving Liang soldiers around them were extremely horrified when they saw their king making such an action. They quickly ran away from the Noxing god of war, wishing their parents would give them 2 more legs. The next moment, the blazing torrent of light swept towards Nantianmen, covering the entire Nantianmen. But before Dihunkin could be happy, a huge energy blade directly split open the energy torrent created by the solar flare bombardment and cut towards him. Dihunkin quickly dodged to one side to avoid the path of the energy blade, but the next moment the ghost-like figure of Nyoxing war god came into his sight again. The next moment, Dihunkin was punched in the face by Nyoxing god of war and flew straight towards the Liang star. Nyoxing war god also jumped up and followed with a black cutter. As soon as Dihunkin in the universe stopped, he was hit on the shoulder by an axe from the Nyoxing god of war, which was shot out like a meteorite. The high heat energy constructed from dark energy slashed into Dihunkin's body continuously. And at the same time, he was pushed forward by Nyoxing god of war. A few seconds later, the energy blade inspired by the black cutting cut off half of Dihunkin's shoulder and one arm under constant cutting. Do you think you are strong? Today I will show you what true strength is. Do you remember what I said when I was at Dexing? If you dare to touch Nyoxing, I will chop down Liang star. You didn't just touch it? And you ruined it? Today I will fulfill my promise and split your fierce sun star. As soon as he finished speaking, Nyoxing god of war strangled Dihunkin's hand around his neck and threw him in the direction of Liang star. Then the Noxing god of war held up the black cutter, his eyes filled with the energy radiance that escaped, and his whole body triggered a huge tide of dark energy. At this moment, Dihunkin felt that a sun made of dark energy appeared in his sight. At this moment, Nyoxing god of war only felt that he was full of power. Huge energy that had never been seen before was raging in and around his body, and he urgently needed to vent it out. And his solid divine body, which topped the 3 major god-making projects, finally reached its limit at this moment. Countless cracks emerged from the body and face of the Nyoxing god of war, and within the cracks was energy that could not stop escaping outwards. Brilliance. Today, even though I die, the blazing sun will also be buried with me. This is me, Nyoxing god of war. The loud voice almost spread throughout the entire sun star. The sun people on the surface looked at the tiny flashing light spot in the sky, pointing and wondering who was speaking. The Liang civil servants and other Liang executives located in the Tiandao Tower and Liang Observation Department looked at the speck of light that was as small as dust compared to the Liang star in horror. The next moment, as the black cutting battle axe that was completely wrapped in energy fell, a dazzling energy slash of more than 10 meters long flew out and expanded at an extremely terrifying speed. When he got close to the Liang star, the energy slash was already bigger than the diameter of the Liang star. Seeing this, Emperor Hunkin, who was already half disabled, stretched out his remaining arm towards the Liang star, opened his palm, and shouted, "Say no." The desperation in his voice and the pleading tone in his voice were unprecedented. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 590. Boom. The thousands of kilometers long energy slash was like a giant blade falling from the sky, falling hard on the surface of the Liang star. The defense system of the Liang star was in front of it, and it only lasted for a moment before turning into powder. Everyone could only watch helplessly as the slash that split the entire sky in half sank into the ground, followed by a terrifying shock that swept through the entire sun star. Mountains collapsed, seas overturned, and countless cracks spread everywhere. They were like the wail of the Liang star before its death, all appearing in the eyes of the Liang people with an intensity unprecedented in the recorded history of the Liang. As a spectator in the universe, Emperor Hunkin was speechless as he watched the entire Liang star being split in half by the Nyoxing god of war. He just stretched out his hand in vain, as if to split the Liang star into two halves. The stars reunited. Nyoxing war god laughed when he saw this scene, and his mind kept flashing to his subordinates and comrades who kept leaving one step ahead of him because of the burning sun's pursuit. But the Nyoxing god of war smiled and stopped laughing. The last picture that flashed in his mind was the prosperous Nyoxing scene, but all of this was gone. Liang, now we are even. As these whispered words came out of Nyoxing's mouth, Nyoxing's body began to disintegrate, and the parts that eventually became fragments automatically decomposed into the basic elements of the universe. Only the black cutting battle axe that symbolizes the Nyo Star War God and has several cracks on it floats quietly in the universe, indicating that the Nyo Star War God has been here and achieved the great feat of splitting the Liang star in half. In the end, with the all-out rescue efforts of the Sun God and Liang civilization, Liang star finally avoided complete destruction and barely managed to save nearly half of the main body of the planet. With the Tiandao Tower, the Liang supercomputer, as the core, it stabilized the remaining half of the Liang star, preventing it from disintegrating. But the remaining half of Liang star was not so lucky. It and the residents of Liang above were destroyed in the disintegration of the planet, and turned into several pieces of continental debris floating around Liang star, including a lineage of the Liang royal family. The Liang civilization suffered heavy losses, and the news that only half of the Liang star was left soon spread throughout the known universe. All civilizations are marveling at the power of the Nyoxing god of war. With the power of one god, he alone fought against the gods of the Liang, severely damaged the sun god, and even left the Liang half disabled. This made some civilizations covet the power of the god-making project, and some civilizations began to set their sights on the Dino survivors. Liang and the others did not dare to make plans for the time being, because the sun god was still there. Things have reached this point, in order to prevent the known universe from continuing to fight between Dino and the sun civilization, affecting more civilizations and innocent people. For the first time, the angelic civilization took the initiative to intervene in the disputes between civilizations outside the order of justice. Not only that, even the principal of the Super Seminary, Spacey, who destroyed most of the Super Theological Seminary together with Dino, also appeared, although he did not personally do it. With his influence, Liang and the Dino survivors had to sit down and negotiate. Liang, will never let go of the Dino remnants. Our Liang star was half destroyed by the Nyo Star War God. We, Liang, must avenge this. Pan Zhen sat opposite General Kaya, his tone was unquestionable, and his eyes were fixed on General Kaya, the representative of Dino opposite him. Then, we Dino must also take revenge on the Sun God for destroying me, Dino. Pan Zhen, you must understand that it was De Hunkin who first destroyed our Dino system, and Nyoxing God of War only fought back afterwards. Don't we even have the right to fight back? If Liang really thinks so, then there is no need to continue this conversation. General Kaya showed no fear of the sun, because he had already contacted the neighbors of the Sun civilization, the Islanders and the Thunderblade, and believed that they would not let go of the good opportunity of the Sun's weakening. Pan Zhen, Cao, things have come to such a point. Both Dino and Dinu have suffered heavy losses. If the fight continues, it will almost be the outcome of both defeats and death. I believe you all know this. The projection from space spoke, but neither Pan Zhen nor Kaya said anything, because this was the truth. Liang has fallen into unprecedented weakness. Some civilizations that are originally opposed to Liang's control, and two neighbors who have always been eyeing it, may invade the Tiandao Liang galaxy at any time. By then, the Liang civilization may not even be able to save the last half of the Liang star. The Dino survivors led by Cao are also facing a similar dilemma. Because they possess Dino's most cutting-edge technology and god-making materials, the Dino survivors are now like a fragrant piece of fat that everyone wants to take a bite of. You two should know each other's situation very well. Is it interesting to keep talking about these scenes? The attitude of our angels is easy to understand. The fight between you continues, and we angels don't mind being your opponents. When the time comes, neither Liang nor Dino will want to continue to exist. For those of you who are self-righteous, create wars at will, and destroy the stability of the known universe, do you know what we angels call this civilization? Evil, heretical, demonic. Binghua directly announced the charter and outcome of the Dino and Liang meeting in a tough tone. She was really fed up with Pan Zhen and Cao bickering with each other. Pan Zhen and Cao looked at each other, snorted coldly and did not refute Binghua's words. In the end, both Dino and Nyo promised not to pursue each other because of the destruction of Dino and Liang's star. This was the end. Shortly after the Dino peace talks, the sun god Emperor Hunkin fell. Liang announced to the public that it was the sun god who blamed himself for impulsively destroying the Dino system and injuring countless Dino innocents, thus causing the destruction of Liang. The evil consequences that led to the death of countless Liang people were committed suicide in Liang Palace. However, any civilization that knows the causes and consequences of Dino and Liang's destruction knows clearly that Liang's behavior is purely a fart. Emperor Hunkin is definitely not this kind of person. His regret may be true, but he will never commit suicide. However, the news of the Liang civilization was widely spread among the pre-nuclear and post-nuclear civilizations in the Shenhe Tiandao galaxy, saving a lot of reputation for the sun god. After that, Liang's sphere of influence was eroded by the Island and Thunderblade stars. Originally Liang was weakened, and Island and Thunderblade were still hesitant to suppress Liang. After all, the sun god was still there. Now that the sun god has fallen, how long will it take to suppress Liang now? Pan Zhen, who was entrusted by Emperor Hunkin with the decision-making sovereignty of Liang's civilization and was promoted to regent of Liang, naturally could not tolerate these two people who had been suppressed by Liang. The civilization is mainly anti-customer. So the long confrontation between Liang, Island, and Thunderblade began. Since then, Liang has lost the ability to send troops to continue to monitor and destroy the actions of the Dino survivors. At the suggestion of the space principal, General Kaya decided to lead the remaining Dino survivors into a frozen state and hide in the desolate star field to avoid the coveting eyes of the Dino survivors in the known universe. Suddenly, the originally turbulent and chaotic situation in the known universe came to a brief end with the destruction of the three major God-creating civilizations. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 591. Queen, when you spoke just now, Pan Zhen and Kaya of Nyoxing became silent. They were obviously frightened by you. A young female angel beside Jingnan said excitedly, and Jingnan explained aloud without Binghua saying a word. What you think is too simplistic. Pan Zhen and General Cao are not easy people to get along with. If their respective circumstances did not allow it, they would have started fighting long ago. Then they will listen to our angels and space principals and sit down and negotiate. Hearing this, the young angel scratched his hair and said, "Is that so? I thought it was the queen who calmed them down so that they didn't dare to make mistakes." Binghua, who was flying in the Stargate passage, turned slightly when he heard this, glanced at the angel with a somewhat young face with his peripheral vision, and explained aloud. "I don't have the ability to make the two of them obey, but they know that if they don't obey, I will take action directly. They also know this, so the peace talks will end this time, otherwise they don't know how long the dispute will last." Hey! Is this different from what I thought at the beginning? The female angel said in confusion. Jingnan shook her head and stopped explaining. The only reason to blame is that sometimes the Queen's words are too easy to be misinterpreted. Half a month later, Sakaz Star. Queen, I haven't been here for hundreds of years. The changes here are quite big. Ran, Ming, Jingnan, and Binghua were wearing casual clothes of different styles, mingling among the various Sakaz pedestrians passing by. If it weren't for their overly delicate faces and the small protruding corners on their foreheads, the surrounding people with the Sarkaza will definitely regard them as their own kind. Walking on the wide streets, looking at the complicated traffic roads overhead and the projection tracks in the sky used to regulate flying vehicles, all of this impressed Binghua and several angels who were used to seeing forests and magnificent palaces in the Merlot heavenly court all year round. A very different and novel feeling. However, it is not a shocking sight, because there are many floating islands floating in the sky in Tiancheng, as well as magnificent palaces whose heights are measured in kilometers, far exceeding the grandeur of Sakaz city. Is this the world where mortals live? It's much more lively than here in Tiancheng. Jingnan lamented that as Binghua's assistant officer, she rarely left Tiancheng. The only time she left Tiancheng was when she stayed at Super Seminary. Although the Super Seminary has gathered prominent students from all civilizations in the entire known universe, it is not a city after all. Although it is huge in area, like Tiancheng, it is vast and sparsely populated, and only a few colleges have taller and grander buildings. In front of the ladies is the church area. If you want to go there, please register here. Just as Binghua and the girls passed through the area of high-rise buildings and entered another building area with a mythological and religious architectural style, they were stopped by a soldier holding a weapon and wearing a red robe embroidered with golden wings. Do I have to register? Jingnan stepped forward and crossed Binghua to start communicating with the Sci-fi. You must register. Several of you are not from Sakaz. There are no restrictions on your travels in other areas. But ahead is a sacred place dedicated to our gods, and any unstable or dangerous factors are not allowed to enter. If ordinary Sakaz people can go directly, we can scan the identity information of Sakaz citizens, but you are not Sakaz citizens. So, the meaning of the Sci-fi is very clear. You are not Sakaz. You must register to enter. If you commit something inside, you will not be able to escape as long as you search through the monitoring system. This is also Sakaz's requirement for all residents of other foreign civilizations, even Kabri, Megara, and the people of the Cyber Empire who are also angels' younger brothers. By temporarily forging identity information, Binghua and the others successfully entered the church area. Compared with the previous futuristic city that was full of technological style, the church area has a retro and religious atmosphere. The buildings here are gorgeously decorated, somewhat similar to the style of Tianren. Many of the buildings have exquisite carvings and murals on the outer walls. Most of them describe the deeds of Sarkazi and Angel fighting together, among which Binghua is familiar with the Battle of Wu Xing. There is also the story of how when the Sakaz civilization was on the verge of destruction thousands of years ago, angels drove the Ark of God Skyblade battleship to save the Sakaz people from the hands of the Chaos Demon. Queen, this is all what we have experienced. But it's a bit exaggerated for us angels. Ran looked at the strokes around her, hoping to find carvings about herself. Unfortunately, Ran had been active in the star cluster of the Red Star Ring, and her legend was not widely spread. For example, Jingnan and Ming had no extravagant hope that they would have the chance to become the legend of the Sakaz civilization. After all, during the physical war, Ming and Jingnan were the guardian angels who stood silently behind Binghua without even showing their faces. Another young angel who had just joined the Legion and became Binghua's assistant. While Hiawa and the girls were touring the city, a group of tall metal knights walked over from a corner not far away with neat and heavy steps. They were more than 2 meters tall and held metal halberds more than 4 meters long. Behind him is a red cloak that hangs down to his legs, embroidered with the same golden wings pattern as the Sci-fi. The girls of Binghua looked at the tall guardian knight passing by and couldn't help but raise their heads slightly to see their clear-cut heads. This was the first time they had been so close to these heavy-armed special infantrymen of the Sakaz civilization who had helped the angels fight. Just as Binghua was taking his cronies to visit the home planet of the Sakaz civilization, the gathering of demons that happened every 100 years was gradually approaching. However, Binghua began to prepare for this war decades ago, and now has secretly assembled nearly 2 million angel warriors in Tiancheng, a quarter of which are newly recruited angel soldiers, but among them most of them have become qualified angel warriors, but they still lack some combat experience. Including Binghua's Heavenly Sword flagship, the number of Heavenly Blade warships participating in the encirclement and suppression of demons this time reached 38. After more than 1,000 years of development, the number of high-level angel warships has also increased from 300 in the last war. The number of names has almost tripled to 900. Most of them are angels who performed outstandingly in the last battle with demons. They are true warriors who have fought 100 battles, and are truly strong men who have stood out from the life and death fight. Ran and Ming, who were enjoying the scenery in Sakaz with Binghua, included Heikawi, Alan, Ruaning, Ziluo, Nishang, Kaila, Luo Yun, Angel Wen, who were still in Tiancheng, and other 2 people who were promoted due to their military exploits. Except for the angels who represent God. Nearly 20 God-level angels from the next level will also participate in this encirclement and suppression of Morgana, the king of angels. Such a terrifying force is enough to frighten any god-making civilization in the known universe. Because of the reincarnation technology, Liang Bing, who is at the stage of bursting with self-confidence, still doesn't know what a luxurious lineup this demon gathering will have. Waiting for her, and her army of demons. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 592. Queen, there is news from Tiancheng that the army has been assembled and is now on standby in Tiancheng. After visiting the planet Sakaz for a few days, Binghua and the girls visited Sakaz all over. What surprised the Binghua girls the most was the fanatical worship of angels by the savior angel sect of Sakaz. Among them, the belief in the angel war god Binghua is even more popular among Sakaz than the belief in the angel king Kesha, which Binghua did not expect. But when he asked some angel believers in Sakaz, the words said by those believers explained Binghua's doubts. In Sakaz's belief, although Kesha is the holy king of gods and deserves respect, the angel war god Binghua is the god of angels who truly leads Sakaz in holy wars one after another. And it is precisely because the angelic war god Binghua led them to victory in holy wars one after another that Sakaz was able to develop to its current scale in thousands of years, overwhelming other subordinate civilizations under the angels. Therefore, the savior angel sect of angel war god Hiawa in Sakaz symbolizes victory, as well as hope, prosperity and many additional priesthoods. Kesha symbolizes supreme power and absolute authority, which makes Kesha's belief less popular among ordinary Sakaz people than Binghua. To Binghua's surprise, the name Angel Burning Thunder God of War was also spread among Sakaz's section. Although not many people knew about it, Ran was very happy. But the fun time will soon come to an end. This pleasant and relaxing time will become a beautiful memory in Binghua's heart, because next she will lead an army of angels to fight a battle between justice and evil against the devil. Most of the older angels only regard this war as another external expedition of the angel civilization. It is a war to allow the angel civilization to gain greater influence and status in the universe, and at the same time, it is a war to establish the authority of the righteous order. The ideas of the angel recruits and the old angel warriors are very different. Most of them are selected from the angel-affiliated civilization and are tough Kamigawa women who have a firm belief in angels and justice. They firmly believe that it is their duty as angels to obey the will of Holy Kesha, the King of Gods, to punish evil, to judge demons, and to protect the weak, just as the angels protected them when they were mortals. It is this intangible thing that fills the hearts of these recruits who are about to enter the battlefield with a fiery fighting spirit. They hope to prove their firmness for justice through the upcoming Holy War. Merlot Heavenly Palace, inside the Holy Expedition Palace, is a large palace that the angelic civilization will use whenever there is a major military operation. It has an extremely vast space inside. In addition to the Palace of the King of Angels where the Melo Conference was held, it is the largest palace building within the angel civilization. It is also surrounded by many giant buildings such as the Civilization Observation Department, the Angel Intelligence Department, the Angel Decision-Making Department, and the Angel Standing Weapons Depot. At this moment, Binghua was no longer wearing the native clothes of Sokka's planet, but had changed back to an angel uniform with Jingnan and ran on the left and right. Then, in descending order, there are the high-end combat power of today's angels, many second-generation God-level angels, and first-generation God-level angels. Among them were many familiar faces to Binghua, some were her former guardian angels, and some were former Sky Blade captains or battlefield commanders under her command. Later, there are the captains and chapter leaders of the high-level angels, as well as the battlefield commanders belonging to different Sky Blade combat units in the angels. There are more than 1,000 high-level angels present, and none of them are below the level of the third-generation angel. Looking at the large number of high-end angels below, even Binghua's state of mind can't help but raise the feeling of who in the known universe can compete with the angels. This meeting is forbidden to be revealed to angels who are not present at this meeting. If anyone is found to have leaked angels' next actions, I will personally judge her. Binghua's first words were to inoculate the high-level angels present. He glanced at the angels present before speaking out about the purpose of gathering the angels and the enemy they were about to face. The reason why I summoned everyone and gathered most of the military forces of the entire angel civilization to station in the Merlot Heavenly Court is because our angels are enemies. The Demon King Morgana has recently returned to the known universe. Last time we defeated her and drove her out of the sphere of influence of the angels of the known universe. This time Morgana comes back with the demons, and her overall strength is definitely stronger than last time, so I have summoned you. Our tactical goal this time is very clear, which is to end the Demon King Morgana and completely destroy the demon civilization. As Binghua revealed the true tactical goal, the angels below had different reactions. Most of the angels knew that Morgana was the former Apocalypse King Liangbing, and they hated Liangbing's betrayal of the angels. The few new generation angels present who believed in justice regarded Mogan as the greatest evil in the universe. When the Holy Left Wing said that this time the target was the Demon King, they all showed expectant looks. Next, Binghua began to assign the parts that he was responsible for to the high-level angel battle group and each Sky Blade captain, and to the God-level angels, as well as the team identification serial numbers. The meeting didn't last long, because Sadarian had only heard about it not long ago. Morgana was planning to convene them in the near future to discuss the reorganization of demon civilization. She also said that she would announce a major event that would enable demons to compete with angels in the future. Finally, half a month later, Strian uploaded the exact location of the demon gathering. It was a planet far away from the Order of Justice, and its location was considered remote in the entire known universe. According to the information uploaded by angel civilization observers more than 1,000 years ago, there is a civilization that is still in the cold weapon period. According to the progress of civilization, it should be about to enter the pre-nuclear era. Then it's time to start sending the angel army to the destination in advance. Binghua started to take action as soon as she thought of it, so the top management of the Angel Legion who had just finished the battle meeting were summoned again. This time they were arranged to go to the location they needed to go, and then prepared the wormhole jump in advance, waiting for the order to attack at any time. The star field where the devil is at this moment is called the Devil Nebula by Morgana. It is the devil's new home and the main activity star field of the devil. Now Morgana is making preparations for the demon gathering. As the king of demons, she must be able to overpower the demons, otherwise how can those unruly demons subdue her? Liang Bing didn't bother to use his knowledge of demon genes to control the big demons that grew wild outside. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 593. As Liang Bing, the former king of Apocalypse who has experienced the war years, Morgana is not a layman who does not know anything about military affairs and commanders. The reason why she allows those big demons to grow wild outside is because she has enough confidence to lead her trusted demons and fallen ones. The angels held them down. The demon warriors under the great demon are the cornerstone of whether the demon civilization can gain a firm foothold in the universe in the future, that is, they must not lose to the huge size of those god-making civilizations. And Liang Bing felt that she only needed to hold those powerful demons and fallen angels firmly in her hands to control the demon civilization. After all, she was the god of demons and the only god in the eyes of ordinary demons. Hurry up and prepare the battleship. The long-lost devil's feast is about to begin. Please work harder for me. Liang Bing walked to the high platform and began to encourage the demons under his command before setting off. The fallen angels were silently mixed in the team. Although they were loyal to Liang Bing, they were not as fanatical as the demons showed. However, these female angels who once served justice, after leaving the orderly Merlot heaven, have been associated with chaotic and free demons for a long time, and they can't help but be tainted with some demonic habits. They no longer respect life so much, and often leave the demon star territory on a whim and go to some civilizations within the demon sphere of influence to have some fun. This led to the emergence of many descendants of fallen angels with angel genes, most of whom were women. However, the fallen angels as their mothers did not take them back to the demons, but left them in those civilizations, those fallen angels. Angels may also know that the path they are taking is not a path worthy of learning from future generations. Those who are relatively peaceful are just looking for fun, and some with violent and bad personalities may even take pleasure in killing mortals. Of course, only a very small number of female angels do this. Most of them have become extremely indifferent to life other than their companions. There are also a few fallen angels who choose to combine with demons and give birth to beings with the genetic characteristics of both demons and angels. It has to be said that as long as reproductive isolation is broken, the biological mother body is an extremely efficient genetic fusion device, and the powerful body of the fallen angel as the mother body is enough to support them in giving birth to those lives that should not be born. Liang Bing also sees some of the behaviors of the fallen angels under her command. Although she can't stand it, she won't intervene because what she advocates is unfettered freedom. Every life has the right to freely choose its own future. Like the order of justice, there are various rules and regulations that restrict people's behavior. After completing preparations, Liang Bing led the main force of the demon civilization to arrive at the meeting point of his demon gathering after half a month of sailing. Just then a private message popped up, and Liang Bing raised his eyebrows. What is this guy Carl doing with me now? Although he thought this way, Liang Bing still connected to the communication and asked directly. Carl, what do you want from me? I'm busy right now. If it's okay, I'll just hang up. Liang Bing, you have used this reason to hang up on me more than 10 times during this period. I am not contacting you this time to discuss the knowledge of the void with you. You also know that since the destruction of Dino, the main campus of the Super Seminary has also been destroyed. The principal lost news the night after the peace talks between Liang and Dino. The operation authority of the big clock fell into my hands. When I used the big clock to observe the known universe a few days ago, I discovered that the Angel Nebula had changed. A large number of Skyblade battleships have left the Angel Nebula. I dare not read the information of the Angel Nebula because it will be detected by the Angel's supercomputer. But I think the Angels are most likely targeting the demonic civilization. I hope you are not doing anything important right now. Liang Bing's heart skipped a beat when she heard this, but she quickly put that speculation behind her. Her trip to gather demons did not reveal it to the outside world. And it is absolutely impossible for an angel to plant a traitor among the demons. Even if an angel follows the demons participating in the demon gathering to the meeting point, they will face the entire demon civilization and have no chance of winning. Don't worry, Carl, the angel is probably engaged in a holy expedition again. You must know that there are two incredible beings in the neighborhood of Angel Nebula. It is estimated that Kesha is going to clean up their minions again. I have also used a large clock to observe the starry sky. There are extremely powerful beings there. Even I can't understand the real situation there using a large clock. Liang Bing became interested after hearing this. He couldn't even use the big clock to figure it out. It seemed that there was something extremely terrible there. You must know that one of the prototypes of the demon gene was a variant of the chaos virus from that sea of stars. Sister, it seems that your order of justice has provoked many powerful enemies. I can't help but want to see your painful look, sister, when the order of justice is shattered because of your decision. By then you will understand that the righteous order is wrong, and only your own strength is truly powerful. Okay, you've finished saying what Carl needs to say. I'm going to organize a devil's ceremony here, so I won't say more to you. After speaking, Liang Bing decisively hung up the communication. Carl, who was far away in the distant starry sky, looked at the disappearing projection and shook his head slightly bitterly. Carl gradually felt Liang Bing's alienation from him. Everything started from the time when he admired her and fused himself with the void to understand the void. Carl also knew Liang Bing's philosophy. Liang Bing wanted to use time and space to influence the void and thereby control the void. In Carl's opinion, this is an idea without theoretical support, and the void matter that has appeared has told Carl with facts that void is a material more powerful than the conventional materials in the main universe today. Only by applying this material in practice can we truly learn to control this power. The subject of Carl's experiment is himself. He plans to transform his divine body into a void divine body to feel the power and nature of the void firsthand. The main reason is that Carl does not have qualified experimental bodies under his command. The powerful body of the beast civilization is still too fragile compared to the divine body of God, and cannot withstand the erosion of void materials. In the 0526 planetary system, as the light flashed in the void, battleships with purple and black as the main colors, which gave people an extremely depressing look, shuttled out of the space wormhole. This was like a signal. As this huge demon fleet appeared, for the next few hours, lights representing space wormhole jumps continued to flash. A group of great demons from all corners of the universe, released by the Demon King, began to gather at this time. Finally, as a giant space wormhole opened in the void, Demon 1 led a high-level demon fleet belonging to Demon King Morgana with a red envelope. After that, the ordinary demon warriors in each fleet let out deafening cheers to welcome the arrival of the Demon King. Satirian, one of the 25 great demons, was sitting in his seat, surrounded by the great demon commanders of various demon fleets. However, compared to the other great demons who looked at each other, he felt a little nervous. He was the only 25 boy present and had secretly sent a message to the angel's holy left wing. Liang Bing walked out from the side of the demon throne, turned around and sat on the throne belonging to the Demon King. Today, it is the day when all of us demons gather together. As your queen, I, the Demon King Morgana, will give you my assurance here. I will lead you to defeat the angels, destroy that bullshit righteous order, and establish a fallen free world that belongs exclusively to our demons. Let the entire known universe know the greatness of our demons, the beauty of freedom. Just when a communication request suddenly popped up, Liang Bing raised his eyebrows slightly. Unless there was an emergency, it was impossible for the detection department of Devil Number 1 to bypass her firewall and communicate with her directly. On the other end of the communication was a fallen angel. She looked panicked at the moment and did not care to salute. Seeing that her queen answered the communication, she quickly reported, The Queen is not in good condition. Demon 1 has detected 38 large wormhole jump beacons appearing around us. According to the signal response characteristics, they are all Skyblade battleships. Hearing this, Liangbing took a breath of cold air. Suddenly Liangbing's heart felt cold. Then he ignored the Queen's majesty and gave urgent orders to the demons below who didn't know what was going on. Quickly tell your fleet to prepare to defend against the enemy. We have been ambushed by angels. Outside world. Huge demon warships gathered densely on the fourth planet in the planetary system. Although the formation was not neat, there was no collision. At this moment, slight distortions appeared in the void around the demon fleet. The next blue light exploded violently, and a huge sky blade appeared near the demon fleet. This was like a signal. As the blue energy halo representing the leap exploded, sky blades suddenly appeared around the demon fleet, even in the middle of the two demon fleets. Compared to the nearly 10,000 demon fleets, which are mostly at the 100-meter, 100-meter, and 1,000-meter levels, although the number of sky blades is less than 1,000th, the size of each sky blade is huge, giving people a sense of occupying the number. The dominant demon was given the illusion of being surrounded by angels. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 594. The Skyblade battleship that suddenly appeared in and around the demon fleet scared the demons half to death. It's not that they are timid, it's really the suffocating feeling that a huge monster suddenly appears next to you and crushes you. The feeling of despair was so overwhelming that the devil collapsed. Although Liangbing issued the order to be more vigilant in time, it was still too late. It was almost as if he had arrived at the last moment. It happened to be when Liangbing was having a meeting with the high-level demons and the demon commanders were not on their flagships. Binghua is sitting on his throne on the Sky Sword. The void in front of him is a projection light screen showing the battlefield situation. The commanders of each Skyblade are asking the Skyblade to use all their firepower to clean up the surrounding demon warships. Taking advantage of the demon hasn't come out yet, kill the demon as much as possible. For a moment, the celestial battleship Skyblade turned into a terrifying firepower platform, and the originally hidden spear of light turret began to show its terrifying fangs to the devil. Energy beams that looked like light spears shuttled through the surrounding space. As long as they blocked the demon warships in front of them, they would either be destroyed or penetrated. The angel's surprise attack caught the demon civilization by surprise. Before they could react, a large number of demon fleets and demon warriors turned into dust in the universe. Then each Skyblade began to drop angel warriors into the battlefield to strangle the surviving demons around them, while the Skyblades continued to bombard and suppress the demon fleet further away, steadily advancing the battle line. After the initial chaos, the demon fleet gradually reacted and began to organize a counterattack. Unfortunately, the entire demon fleet group formation had been disrupted by the incoming Skyblade. The fleets belonging to different great demons were mixed together under the continuous driving and division of the Skyblade. Due to the unclear command authority, most of them fought independently. Liangbing, who was located in the center of the demon, looked at the chaotic scene of the battlefield through demon number 1 and his lungs were about to explode. What a stupid battle this was. It clearly had an absolute numerical advantage, but it was caught in the middle by the angel civilization, and it was divided into more than a dozen parts and was quickly cannibalized by the Skyblade. Liangbing felt that he had to do something, otherwise the wealth he had accumulated over the past 2,000 years might be wiped out. Dear high-level demons, you have also seen that those bastard angels did not want our demonic civilization to be rebuilt, so they shamelessly ambush us in advance. But we are fallen free demons, how could we be overwhelmed by the power of angels? So all demons, take up your weapons, drive away those hateful angels, and rebuild the fallen kingdom of freedom. The middle and low-level demons responded to Liang Bing's speech to the entire army with cheers, and none of the high-level demons and big demons chose to jump out and sing the opposite at this time. They didn't see that the Demon King was now on the rise. If at this time if you disobey Morgana, you will definitely be killed. Driven by Liang Bing, the Demon King, the demon's morale finally lifted a little, barely blocking the angels' onslaught. The demon fleet behind the battle line began to reorganize its formation and re-establish its formation under the mobilization of Demon Number 1. Command structure to prevent the recurrence of separate operations. Binghua continued to receive Liang Bing's latest updates from Saturian, including every instruction he issued. When he heard that Liang Bing planned to use the special characteristics of Demon Number 1 to re-establish the demon's command center, Binghua revealed his a faint smile. Go down and jump the heavenly sword to the side of the devil Number 1. I have already passed on the space coordinates to you. Whether this war can end quickly depends on whether we can destroy Demon 1, the new demon command center. Queen, how did you get this information? Jingnan asked in surprise. As an auxiliary officer, she had not heard any news. It was obvious that the information about her queen was not obtained from the angel's intelligence system. Binghua just waved her hand indifferently to Jingnan's surprise. I have my own way. Okay, hurry up and give the order. If we end this war a second earlier, we angels will sacrifice less angel warriors. The high-level angels are on standby and are about to enter the wormhole jump. Please prepare the high-level angels for attack. In a battle hall inside the Tianjian, many high-ranking angels who had maintained a relatively relaxed attitude immediately began to pick up the flaming swords placed aside and lined up in front of the battle hall after hearing this announcement. The insect gate is on standby. A few seconds later, the sky sword, which was nearly twice the size of an ordinary sky blade, rushed into the warping wormhole. At the same time, a space distortion suddenly appeared in the space in front of the Devil One, and some Devil warships were affected and collided. The Demon One has only now detected the jump beacon of the Tianjian, but they are unable to stop it, because the Tianjian is a celestial battleship of the same level as the Demon One, and it is difficult to distinguish which one is stronger between the two. As the wormhole suddenly appeared, and the space trembled, a giant sky blade that overwhelmed all the demon warships present and was a circle larger than the Demon One forced its way into this crowded space. Then there was a volley of spears of light that were like a goddess scattering flowers. Immediately, countless demon warships around them were penetrated and exploded into two pieces. The Demon One was naturally attacked as well. Even Liang Bing, who was on Devil Number 1, could feel the slight tremor coming from under his feet, which was enough to illustrate the powerful power of the Tianjian's covering bombing. Tianjian, that guy Binghua. Liang Bing saw the heavenly sword's shape that was different from the ordinary heavenly blade through the Demon No One's observation system, muttered unhappily, and then waved his hand. The angels have already attacked Demon 1. The demons and your queen will fight against the angels' holy left wing. The dark energy orbital turrets all over the Tianjian constantly adjust their angles and continuously fire out lethal spear-shaped beams at a frequency of 1 shot per second, hitting the demon warships within the range. No matter how the surrounding demon warships attack, they can only stop in front of the Tianjian's space-time deflection shield. The Tianjian is like a permanent military firepower fortress standing in the starry sky, and the demon warship is the soldiers that continuously attack it. Apart from leaving a pile of corpses, it is unable to shake the fortress at all. It wasn't until Liang Bing connected with Demon Number 1 that he personally opened a hole in the Tianjian's space-time deflection shield, and the demon successfully broke through the Tianjian's shield that they couldn't shake. But what greeted the devil was not victory, but a deeper despair. It was an elite force composed of 900 high-level angels and tens of thousands of elite angel warriors. The attack force that the devil finally organized was easily defeated. The first application of the grand trial on the battlefield achieved significant results. A large number of demon soldiers were quickly cleared out under the terrifying killing range of the grand trial, freeing the precious combat power of the angels from cleaning up the soldiers. Looking at Liang Bing, who was leading many great demons and fallen angels, Binghua raised the corners of his mouth and smiled slightly while greeting Liang Bing. "Are you surprised to see me here?" Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 595. Liang Bing's eyes twitched slightly when he heard this. How could he not be surprised? He was simply frightened. "Binghua, you guys are here to trick me in advance. How did you know I'm here?" Liang Bing's gnashing voice sounded. Whether it was the high-level angels around Binghua, the god-level angels beside Liang Bing, or the elite demons and fallen angels around Liang Bing, they all paid some attention to the conversation between the two queens. "Superior, I have a way to catch your little tail. Liang Bing's time is different from last time. You are now in a desperate situation and you can't fly out even if you have wings. If you want to give up all your subordinates and your demon number 1, then just open the wormhole and escape alone. Don't worry, I won't chase you right away, because the demons under your command still need me to clean up slowly." There was a faint smile on Binghua's face, but the words he said were extremely bad, making Liang Bing unable to hold back his anger. "Damn it, Binghua, when did you become as arrogant as Kesha? Don't think you can defeat me. Now the demon troops under my command have the upper hand. It's still unclear who will win in the end. Chickens and dogs are nothing to be afraid of." Binghua's response to Liang Bing was just 8 words, but it made Liang Bing feel extremely angry. She felt that she had been underestimated. "Then let the chickens and dogs in your eyes defeat your army of angels. Then we'll see if you can still be as proud as you are now." They have not seen each other for thousands of years, and Liang Bing rebelled against Tiancheng before, and a lot of things happened in the middle. Today, the sisterhood between Binghua and Liang Bing is not much left. In order to eradicate this huge threat for the angel civilization, Binghua plans to capture Liang Bing this time if he has the chance, and kill him if he doesn't, completely cutting off the possibility of the demon civilization resurrecting. In fact, Binghua vaguely noticed that the angel class was somewhat solidified now. Although fighting for power was not popular in the angel civilization, high positions had always been controlled by several elders of Merlot heaven, which made it impossible for angels under the sacred wings to be promoted. Holy Kesha naturally does not need to worry about her successor for the time being, because she is the king of angels, but Binghua, as the military commander of the angel civilization, has to consider this issue. If one day one of him or he 11 falls, will there be an angel capable of holding the sacred wings in the angel civilization? The angel civilization has the upper hand, or it can be cultivated slowly during peacetime. But if the angel civilization is in danger, the veteran angels, the fall is tantamount to annihilation for the angel civilization. That's why Binghua began to personally investigate Liang Bing's traces 100 years ago, intending to first solve the serious problem of this angelic civilization. If the secret threat from Liang Bing is not eliminated, the new holy wings will most likely be plotted to death by the experienced Liang Bing. While Binghua was thinking about this, the demons under Liang Bing moved, and they formed small teams like angels, attacking Binghua's high-level angel battle group like giant pincers. Binghua and Liang Bing didn't move, because they still needed to observe the situation on the battlefield. If they had the upper hand and restrained the opponent, then victory would be certain. However, it was obvious that the war situation was not favorable to the demons. Liang Bing had a large number of elite demon warriors she had accumulated over the years, but they were not worth mentioning compared to the high-level angel battle groups formed by angels. Even with Karl's support, Liang Bing still couldn't keep up with the angels who had the entire righteous order as their backing. He was proud enough to be able to pull out such an army of demons that defeated ordinary god-making civilizations. Damn, they are all guard level. Are they bringing all the high-level angels from the entire celestial city? You really spent a lot of money to deal with me. The high-level angels were divided into small teams, or individuals faced the demons that were attacking in a pincer shape. As soon as the two sides fought, the high-level angels tore apart the elite demon formations, which were generally second-generation level. This is like a strong man beating a little kid, without any resistance. And those high-level angels who choose to fight alone are even more powerful. Faced with the encirclement and killing of several demons around them, they rely on their rich combat experience to perform various unexpected evasive actions in the air. At the same time, the flaming sword in his hand was not idle. He took advantage of the moment when the devil and himself passed each other and cut it into two pieces. Sisters around you, disperse immediately and prepare for the big trial. After a high-level angel killed several demons surrounding him with a few swords, he found an opening and raised the flaming sword in his hand. The next blazing energy began to gather, turning into a bright fireball that condensed on the tip of the sword, emitting a dazzling orange light like a miniature star. The other angels around him had already been reminded to stay away from the surrounding area, and this high-ranking angel launched the Great Judgment forward without hesitation. A fireball the size of a wash basin did not make the demons feel afraid. Only those fallen angels and high-level demons who have learned energy-driven technology can understand how much energy is contained in that small fireball. It avoids its forward trajectory. Although the flight trajectory of the grand trial did not look very fast from a distance, it was actually extremely fast, and it flew into a crowd of demons in the blink of an eye. The next moment, dazzling fire bloomed in the universe, and a terrifying giant fireball continued to expand in all directions. Countless demons screamed in terror and were swallowed up by the fire and turned into nothingness. As a high-level angel used the Great Judgment in battle, more and more high-level angels began to follow suit, and for a time the Great Judgment became the most eye-catching presence on the battlefield. The demise of a large number of elite demons freed up more and more high-level angels, who began to organize spontaneous attacks on Liang Bing's area. "Queen, please let us also attack. If this continues, we will be surrounded." Shalan, who was standing next to Liang Bing, spoke up. Yunlan also looked at Liang Bing with a look that asked for a fight. "Okay, you lead the fallen angels to attack those high-level angels. Don't be brave and join the demons in dealing with them. With the reincarnation technology, we don't need to care about that small sacrifice." After Liang Bing finished speaking, she locked her sights on Binghua, who was facing her across the sky above the Tianjian. From the moment the fallen angels chose to go out to fight against those high-level angels, Liang Bing knew that he was at a disadvantage. If the battlefield is compared to a chess game, the process of the war is that the two sides are constantly exchanging pieces with each other. Now the angel side has gained an absolute first-mover advantage, and has one more superior force than the devil that can support each battlefield at any time. Don't underestimate this extra force, because this new force is often the key to breaking the anxious battlefield, and it is also the beginning of the collapse of a 1,000-mile dike in an ant nest. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 596. The actual battle situation was much smoother than what was mentioned above. Mutual exchange would only occur between opponents of the same level, and now the devil is far from being an opponent of the angel. Just the high-level angel battle group participating in the battle was killed indiscriminately among the devil's elite army, not to mention that Binghua was surrounded by 4 battle teams composed of god-level angels, and there were also 6 second-generation god-level ones. The angels are still waiting. Seeing Liang Bing dispatching the fallen angel troops, Binghua issued an order in the overall communication: "All angel warriors, launch a general attack on Demon 1. This time, Morgana's flagship must be destroyed and its power weakened." After Binghua's order was given, the 6 second-generation god-level angels that were floating quietly behind her suddenly increased the frequency of their wings and turned into after-images and flew out, followed by a total of 20 first-generation god-level angels. Yun Ian's invisible figure jumped through the wormhole to a high-level angel who was chasing a demon. The silver-thin sword in his hand suddenly stabbed out, like a ray of silver light hitting the angel's chest. The attacked high-level angel let out a muffled groan and immediately turned around to get away from Yun Lan. At the same time, he waved out several flaming sword energy to delay his pursuit. But Yun Lan just turned sideways to avoid several flaming slashes that delayed her. She accelerated to catch up with her target and stabbed with the silver thin sword in her hand. The high-ranking angel only felt a pain in her chest, and then a sense of weakness came over her. She used her last consciousness to remind her sister in the communication. "It's a dark silver weapon, sisters, be careful." Yun Lan coldly flicked the blood that was rapidly evaporating from the rapier in his hand, and then began to look for his next target. Soon, a high-level angel who was a little far away from her companions because she was chasing demons was chosen by Yun Lan as her target. Just as she was about to jump through the wormhole, dazzling thunder and lightning struck across a distance of hundreds of meters. Yun Lan raised his sword to block, but thunder and lightning were not something that could be blocked with just a weapon. Powerful energy lightning traveled around on the surface of his body, allowing him to enjoy a long-lost feeling of paralysis, but it only lasted for a moment, and the next one spread. The lightning that hits the body is offset by the annihilation of dark energy. "I didn't expect you to fall so quickly. Yun Lan, the evil aura on your body is so strong. How many innocent people have you massacred?" The angel's burning sword pointed at Yun Lan. His tone was extremely regretful and also brought out a hint of hostility. "Ran, I haven't seen you in 2,000 years and you are still so serious and strict in abiding by Kesha's set of justice." Yun Lan was not in a hurry to leave. The burning weapon on a large-scale battlefield was comparable to a mobile weapon of large-scale destruction. If she was not contained, a large number of elite demons would be killed by it. "This is not a stereotype, Yun Lan. Angels have the most powerful power in the known universe. If we indulge our own desires, we are not upholding justice in the universe. So what is the difference between us and the defeated Huayet? It was precisely in order to fight for a fair living environment for our female compatriots who were weak at that time that we resisted those beast-like male angels under the leadership of the Four Kings. Now it seems that you have forgotten our original ideals and completely degenerated into evil under the influence of Liang Bing. And it is our duty as angels to judge evil." Ran's words were sonorous and powerful, containing extremely powerful beliefs, and his whole body seemed to exude the light of justice, but this made Yun Lan feel disgusted. She hates Ran who looks like this, and she hates him so much that she wants to kill him immediately and destroy the justice she talks about. So Yun Lan did not respond to Ran's words and disappeared directly. Ran raised the heavy sword in his hand and pointed it at the top of his head. The next moment, terrifying lightning appeared, wrapping up Ran like a storm and heading towards him. Pushed around. Yun Ian's figure appeared awkwardly in the raging lightning storm. As a last resort, she could only use energy to resist the energy lightning that was constantly eroding her divine body. Other god-level angels also found suitable opponents for themselves. Those who did not find suitable opponents turned into demon harvesters and launched a crazy slaughter of demons. Not long ago, Liang Bing could no longer sit still and took the lead in attacking Binghua, but was easily stopped by several hanging flaming swords. Liang Bing saw that the space to reach out was restricted, and the hanging flaming sword was restrained in place. Just when Liang Bing wanted to speak and mock Binghua according to his own habit, countless metal blades spurted out from the wormhole behind the ice flower, like a turbulent ocean of metal sweeping toward Liang Bing. "You can restrain me a few weapons, then you can't help but restrain me like this," Binghua said teasingly, his figure not even moving, still sitting quietly on the suspended seat under him as before. There was nothing around him, but no demon dared to approach. It's not that no demons have tried, but the hundreds of demons hundreds of meters away from Binghua, pierced by countless long swords and impaled into hedgehogs, are the best examples. Even elite demons and even high-level demons cannot avoid the same fate. The only difference is that the Tae long sword on his body was replaced by a flaming sword. At present, only Liang Bing has not been killed within 200 meters of Binghua, but he also frequently jumps through micro wormholes to avoid the flaming swords that suddenly shoot out from the wormholes. Only then could he survive. Although with the strength of Liang Bing's divine body, even if he was hit by a flaming sword and penetrated his body, he would not die. However, even Liang Bing's divine body could not withstand being pierced by dozens or hundreds of flaming swords at the same time. Facing the rolling wave of metal, Liang Bing chose to follow his heart and jump directly to the side of Binghua through the micro wormhole. With a wave of his hand, several streams of silver light shot out and disappeared into the opened wormhole. Less than 1 meter away from Binghua's back, several streams of silver light shot out from the opened wormhole, followed by several sharp sounds of metal collision. Liang Bing's attack was declared in vain, because the silver feather-like short blades behind Binghua formed a silver metal wall, blocking Liang Bing's sneak attack. The metal wave that was easily dodged by Liang Bing did not stop moving forward. It began to combine with each other as it swept forward. After a few seconds, the giant sword edge took shape and flew straight towards the devil number 1. Liang Bing cursed secretly. She knew she had been fooled. Binghua's target was not her from the beginning, but the devil number 1 behind her. It was already too late to notify demon number 1 of the transfer, and Liang Bing could not go back immediately to quickly connect to demon number 1 because Binghua stood up from his seat and held the 7-kill sword that represented his seriousness in his hand. Liang Bing, now the battle between you and me has officially begun. Before I start, I want to ask you, are you willing to go back to Merlot Heaven with me? Facing Binghua's calm inquiry, although Liang Bing felt a chill in her heart, she still laughed and refused. How could I possibly go back with you? Binghua, is your brain broken? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 597. Really, in that case, you will die here together with your demonic civilization today. Binghua's tone was as low as a cold breath, making Liang Bing feel cold all over. With a flash of lightning, Binghua came to her side and waved the king's sword lightly in his hand. Boom! Blue thunder spread across the universe like a spider web, and Liang Bing flew backwards hundreds of meters like a cannonball. At the moment when Binghua and Liang Bing were fighting, the star blade of destruction, composed of countless metal flying blades, also came to demon number 1 and pierced its shield. Like the last straw that broke the camel's back, the demon number 1 shield, which had been bombarded by the skyward sword, suddenly collapsed like dominoes, turning into countless energy fragments centered on the star blade of destruction and collapsing inwards. Accompanied by the loud sound of metal tearing and the huge roar, the star blade of destruction penetrated directly into the body of the devil number 1, causing huge damage to it. The engine, energy circuit, and the jump module were all damaged to a certain extent, and this was not the end. As a supergiant soldier, the weapon engine of the star blade of destruction is composed of countless small independent weapon engines connected in parallel. At this moment, under Binghua's preset command, it began to work. A trace of red energy radiance seeped out from the tiny gaps between the star blade sword bodies. The next moment, the entire sword body was slowly covered by a layer of dark energy. At the same time, it continued to radiate to the surroundings, eroding the demon one's hull. The devil number 1, which had been briefly paralyzed by the sting of the star blade, began to be affected by the dark energy radiation waves from the star blade. The structure of the ship began to be eroded, the strength decreased, and the energy circuits melted. Various problems, large and small, kept popping up, causing some of the fallen angels and demons who stayed on the Devil One to almost collapse. Fortunately, the computing cloud of the Devil One was lucky enough to escape and was not greatly affected. When did you become so shameless and start doing this kind of trick? Liang Bing, who was chasing Binghua, took the time to look at the miserable state of Devil Number 1 with his peripheral vision, and then began to output. But Liang Bing quickly closed her mouth, and at the moment she was distracted, Binghua had already raised his sword to complete the calculations of the grand trial and shot towards her. Liang Bing had also seen the power of the Great Judgment before, so she cleverly avoided it. But what Liang Bing didn't notice was that from the angle between her and Binghua, Devil Number 1 was right behind her. The Great Trial flew past Liang Bing. Liang Bing was happy. The fire that appeared behind her shocked her. When she turned around, she found that the Devil Number 1 had suffered another disaster. A large piece of the ship's hull was destroyed by the explosion of the Great Trial. Severe damage. If the Devil Number 1 had not been transformed from the apocalypse, I am afraid that under the Great Judgment just now, even if it was not blown up, most of it would have been damaged, instead of just the outer hull being damaged like now. Frequently being tricked by Binghua's advantage in space, Liang Bing ignored Binghua's sharp hand-to-hand combat skills and directly jumped to Binghua's side with a wormhole. But the Wang sword in Binghua's hand had already been waiting for Liang Bing where she appeared, and with the silver sword blade, a trace of lightning was drawn in the universe. Liang Bing immediately clutched his chest and backed away quickly. Binghua raised his hand and pointed it at Liang Bing. Next, dozens of flaming swords appeared around him, and then a red energy halo appeared on the sword, blazing like a beam of light. And out. Liang Bing quickly flapped his wings to dodge, but there were too many flaming swords coming. Coupled with the impact of the injury on his chest, it was a little slow when he launched the micro-wormhole jump. A flaming sword surging with dark energy radiated directly. Cut into Liang Bing's abdomen. Binghua's eyebrows were raised slightly. Originally, it was just to delay Liang Bing's harassing attack, but he didn't expect that there would be unexpected gains. Naturally, Binghua would not let go of Liang Bing's small mistake. Under the blessing of the Thunder algorithm, Binghua rushed to Liang Bing's side very quickly. The sacred inscription on the 7 Killing King sword shone brightly, and it was obvious that the next blow would not be so easy to withstand. Seeing this, Liang Bing didn't care that there was still a flaming sword stuck in his abdomen. He raised the rapier in his hand and tried to block it, but after the next shot, he heard the fierce and harsh friction between metals. Only half of the rapier in Liang Bing's hand was left. Although he paid the price with his own weapon, Liang Bing successfully avoided being severely injured by Binghua. Then Liang Bing immediately carried out the lightning halberd and immediately sent out a dazzling lightning impact, delaying Binghua's pursuit. Although Binghua's pursuit was successfully stopped, countless silver feathers were released by Binghua at some point, avoiding the lightning strikes triggered by Liang Bing, and spinning horizontally against each other to strangle Liang Bing. Facing an almost certain death situation, even with Liang Bing's state of mind, her pupils contracted. Fortunately, when Yin Yu's power came to her, she couldn't wait to jump through the micro-wormhole. Seeing this, Binghua shook his head with a little pity. What a great opportunity, but Liang Bing escaped in the end. It seemed that the idea of capturing Liang Bing was a bit unrealistic. The opponent has the ability to jump through micro-wormholes. Even if he beats her half to death, he will only use his own micro-wormholes to escape. In this case, he can only try to kill him at once. Queen, Yunlan slipped away from my hand and seemed to be heading towards you. Understood, don't worry about me, you go help other warriors and expand our advantages. Binghua responded nonchalantly to Ran. Regarding the possibility that Yunlan might be lurking over, her idea was very simple and she could just kill him. After thinking for a moment, Binghua stretched out the Titan's grip armor with his left hand and finished putting on the armor. The 7 Killing King sword was also returned to the weapons warehouse by Binghua, and he brought out a jet black straight sword with a hollow center and blue energy that was constantly beating. Micro-wormhole restraint set, specially designed for enemies who are proficient in micro-wormhole technology. It includes the Titan's grip, which is used to restrict the enemy's movement, and the god-killing saber, which can emit stable fluctuations that interfere with space. Using this thing can be regarded as Binghua's true murderous intention. Liang Bing had just emerged from the micro-wormhole and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Her tried and tested micro-wormhole tactics had always failed on Binghua, which made her very unhappy. Seeing that Binghua's weapon was replaced by Liang Bing, he became more vigilant. Compared with fighting against his sister Kesha, although he would be suppressed by the silver blade very miserably, he could still cope with it. But Binghua is different. There are many weapons with strange functions in Binghua's arsenal. From Shailen's story, Liang Bing learned that Binghua has weapons that can restrain the micro-wormhole tactics, but they were not used last time. I haven't seen Binghua use it. But even so, last time she was embarrassed by Binghua using the 7 Killing King sword, so Liang Bing never despised Binghua in her heart, but the reality was crueler. Even if she was more vigilant, she was still beaten by Binghua just now. He was beaten easily and almost lost his life. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 598. After carrying out the weapon suit-numbered micro-wormhole nemesis in the arsenal, and connecting to the Tianjian to obtain celestial-level computing power support, Binghua stirred up his wings and activated the thunder algorithm, like a bolt of lightning. Liang Bing directly wormhole jumped behind Binghua, hoping to rely on its speed to turn too fast and not face the weak point to carry out a targeted attack. Reaching out and throwing out a few dark silver daggers, Liang Bing held a silver dagger and fanned his mechanical demon wings to chase Binghua. And all of this was exposed without reservation within the range of Binghua's perception. Binghua just smiled in his heart. For more than 1,000 years, Liang Bing was still the same as he was beating him back and forth, with basically no change. In this case, don't blame yourself for bullying others. Binghua directly raised his left hand, which was wearing the Titan's grip light armor, and suddenly turned around and held it empty. Suddenly, an extremely powerful pressure was generated in the kilometer-wide space, and Liang Bing's pursuit of Binghua suddenly froze in mid-step, unable to move. And being squeezed continuously by a huge squeezing force, Liang Bing has no doubt that any demon warship will be squeezed into an irregular metal sphere in the face of this squeezing force. Binghua, on the other hand, maintained a neither fast nor slow speed, holding up his left arm with the Titan's grip in a virtual grip and approaching Liang Bing. On the straight knife in his right hand, the sacred inscription slowly lit up. As one of the former top angels, Liang Bing knew very well what those illuminated sacred inscriptions represented. They were special attack inscriptions on the divine body, which could quickly destroy the supergenetic structure of the divine body and inhibit and destroy its recovery ability. As long as he was stabbed, even if the third-generation divine body wanted to recover, it would take a long time. Seeing Binghua gradually approaching him, Liang Bing couldn't help it anymore and began to calculate the location of the next micro-wormhole jump in his mind. When Binghua saw Liang Bing's struggle weakening, her originally unhurried movements suddenly accelerated. Liang Bing's heart suddenly stopped in fright, and she quickly made a micro-wormhole jump. When Binghua saw the spatial reaction representing a micro-wormhole appearing behind Liang Bing, the corner of his mouth slightly raised, color fluctuations swept in all directions. Binghua and Liang Bing's sights simultaneously showed a blurry image similar to snowflake patterns. Binghua was already prepared for this, but Liang Bing was caught off guard and was directly repelled by the half-open micro-wormhole. Seeing this, Binghua slashed towards Liang Bing's neck with the god-killing straight knife in her right hand, obviously intending to decapitate him with one blow and completely destroy his ability to resist. Just when the straight knife was still some distance away from Liang Bing's neck, a figure rushed from behind Binghua. Binghua turned her head slightly and caught a glimpse of the person coming from the corner of her eyes. It turned out to be Yun Lan, who had slipped away from Ran's hand. It was obvious that Yun Lan was also affected by the energy wave emitted by Binghua's straight knife aimed at micro-wormhole technology, so he was unable to use micro-wormhole jump to prevent himself from attacking Liang Bing. Only then did she give up her hidden attack on Binghua, trying to force her to give up her attack on her own queen, Liang Bing. But Yunlan didn't notice the feather-like silver blades around Binghua. They were so ordinary, like metal fragments floating quietly in the universe. But when Yunlan approached Binghua, the metal fragments floating randomly moved, like a sea of rolling metal blades, like a shark smelling blood, spinning towards Yunlan. Seeing this, Liang Bing anxiously reminded Yunlan loudly, but the next moment a silvery cold light flashed across Liang Bing's neck, and her anxious face froze. At the same time, silver feathers surrounded Yunlan, and then the dense body was penetrated by sharp blades, and the sound of squeaking continued to sound. After a few seconds, the silver feathers that wrapped Yunlan dispersed, revealing Yun Ian's riddled body. A large amount of blood with a faint red light was scattered around, and it was rapidly evaporating into energy and dissipating. Binghua flicked the Liang Bing's blood stained on the straight blade, looked at Liang Bing's anxious head, and secretly sighed that the thousands of years of sisterhood ended today. I never thought that you, King Tiankai, would eventually fall under my sword. Binghua felt a sense of emptiness. She held the straight knife and stared at Liang Bing's head and body quietly. She suddenly felt a little tired. The demons and fallen angels around her made her feel a little irritable. If there were no demons or fallen angels, she wouldn't have to run here, nor would she use her hands to kill her good sister. The next moment, Binghua opened the Titan's grip in his left hand and aimed it at an area with the most demons and fallen angels. Then an extremely majestic force field energy surged out, wrapping that area of space. Binghua then used the powerful computing power of the Tianjian computing cloud to avoid the angels in it and increase the strength of the force field. The next moment, the terrifying force of oppression acted on these demons and fallen angels without any mercy. The next moment, the bodies of the enemies of these angels groaned at the edge of their limits. In the end, with a crackling sound that exceeded the limit, the body skeletons supporting the activities of these demons were forcibly destroyed by external pressure. The fate of the fallen angels is not much better. As someone who has shown that he is the opposite of an angel, Binghua will not show any mercy. It was only then that the demons discovered that the queen they were loyal to had fallen. This was like a heavy hammer hitting the demons' morale, which was already on the verge of collapse. The morale of the female angel side is unprecedentedly strong. The greatest evil in the universe has been judged by the holy left wing, and the remaining demons must be annihilated here. Binghua later joined the battle to annihilate demons and fallen angels. They had fought together for the same goal countless times, but now their fellow angels who were on the opposite side were killed by Binghua. The fallen angels and a few high-level demons formed a powerful breakout team, trying to break through the angels' defense and escape from the galaxy. However, within the warning circle constructed by the 38 Skyblades, any special situation would be discovered. Therefore, the breakout of the fallen angels and high-level demons ultimately failed. In addition, there is another reason. Because what stood in front of them was one of the sacred wings of the angel civilization, the angel war god with the most famous reputation in the entire known universe, so the breakout force composed of fallen angels and high-level demons was easily defeated. This battle to annihilate the demon civilization lasted for several days. All the demon civilization fleets assembled in this battle were destroyed, including Liang Bing's demon number 1. In terms of personnel, all the demons were killed, and none of the fallen angels survived, including a few mixed young fallen angels with angel and devil genes. It's not that Binghua is cold, but because these young hybrid angels chose to take up arms and attack angels. At this point, the demon civilization was declared destroyed, and the demon king Morgana was announced by the angels to have fallen. In an extremely hidden demon reincarnation technology research facility in the Demon Nebula, a naked woman with long black hair and a pair of metal wings on her back walked out of the open vertical alloy cabin. Fortunately, I kept an insurance policy. I didn't expect that guy Binghua to be so strong.